Okay, so first things first, I know some of you are going to be asking, Kimmy, where is your glasses? And I said, I want to forego my glasses today because I think ever since the first video I ever did, you always see me in a pair of glasses. So I want to try to change, just a minor change in facial features. Nothing much has changed except there's no glasses on my face. So in this week's episode, I'm doing a review instead of a live reaction of Love of Kill episode 7. Truth be told, if you got to the ending and saw the preview for next week's episode, which is titled Confusion, I think it fit more with this week's episode, especially towards Chateau's case, because she is basically having an internal breakdown and crises all in one. So going off of episode 6, where the boss had basically a knife lunge deep within his neck and the emergency ambulance had to airlift him to the closest hospital to, of course, perform some type of surgery to save his life. He is not dead, which I am grateful for, because it would be so messed up, because he was going to have a rendezvous with Ryang-ha to just talk about like Chateau and all that stuff. And of course, we probably won't know what they're going to talk about because now he's taken out the picture temporarily, right? And this childlike assassin, who we finally got his name, is named Jinon. Excuse me if I kind of mispronounce his name, but that's how it's spelled, and that's the way I can pronounce it. He wants Ryang-ha. Come to find out, he was assigned this mission by a man named Mr. Donnie, okay? And he wants Ryang-ha Song, whether dead or alive, so he's trying to buy him from Chateau. Now, he's threatening Chateau too, because if she doesn't give him Ryang-ha, he's going to kill her mother. So now she's in this dilemma, like, ever since I met this guy, my life, if it wasn't already messed up, it's even more messed up. It's even more confusing, because when she went back to the room where Ryang-ha is currently staying at, after this all happened in terms of sequence, Jinon stabbed Chateau's boss. Ryang-ha came. He saw Jeong. They had a little scruffle with each other, and then Jeong ran off. And that's when he was telling Chateau where her boss is. That's when the boss went off with the emergency aircraft. And then we get to this point where now they're in Ryang-ha's room. She comes in there, and at first she looks like she's fully committed to doing what she was originally supposed to do back in episode 1 when she confronted him to go kill him. But in this case, it's different than episode 1. She is very confused. She's very conflicted, because she's like, my mother's being threatened. The people I'm close to, my boss, my co-workers, their lives are on the line, and I'm constantly being in contact with you because you have some strange fascination with me for some odd reason that I do not know of. On top of, I can't remember my real name. I don't know who my real parents are. I don't know what my identity is. I just don't know who I am, and I don't know what the hell is going on. I am done. And she puts the gun to her head. She was going to kill herself in this episode until Ryang-ha stopped her. And it just goes to show that, like, everything that was boiling up to this point for her, because we continuously see where she would, she's sleeping, she has a dream, but within those dreams, her repressed memories are resurfacing, and then she ends up getting headaches where she's feeling dizzy. And after meeting Ryang-ha, it's just like her life turned at a 180. Now it's like I don't know. Her life just really is tumbling over, and it's too much for her at this point. So she was really like, if people are going to be threatening my family and my friends and my co-workers, and it's all because of me, I want to take myself out of the equation if it means saving even one person, because I can't deal with this anymore. How much longer can Ryang-ha protect me? Already he protected me twice, but how much longer can he continue to do so? He's no Superman, and he's a man that is wanted. He has killed over 20 odd people. He's wanted by how much organizations and individuals themselves, including Jing-on, and I'm thrown into the mix because of his weird obsession with me. Okay, so he does stop her, and he is questioning her, like, you doing all of this, is it going to stop any of what's going on? And I'm not going to allow you to do that. So before she can even kill herself and he stops her, he chokes her out. He chokes her out instead of just like, like I don't know, chop her. No, he strangles her. He strangles her so she can get knocked out. And it leads to him, as we saw in the preview, he's going to confront Jiyeon. Now, if you guys stay past the ending song, thank you to the person who told me to stay past the episode's ending. I think back in episode 2 or episode 3 live reaction, the Ryang-ha Song, who I said back in episode 6, who that little boy looked like they were in an orphanage and he was confronted by Mr. Donnie. And I thought it was the current Ryang-ha we know, the adult one, but this was taken in the past. No, it's in current time. Given to how old the kid is now in the ending of the episode versus what we saw in beginning of episode 6, there may be like a 2-year, 3-year, but still within current time. And Mr. Donnie has been taking care of this new Ryang-ha Song. Now, in regards to that name, there's some mystery behind this name, because when we first heard this name is back in episode 2, I believe, when they were doing the flashback of Chateau after her kidnapping. The guy who was trying to kidnap her is dead in the driver's seat. They pick up this little girl who could only remember her name, Chateau Noble, and then they find this ID. I think it was an airplane ID, yes, a passport. And it said Ryang-ha Song, but when they were looking up, they couldn't find who that person is. It's an unidentifiable ID. That person does not exist. So I don't know if this name originally belonged to someone, and then whoever this mysterious person is, just took this name and ran with it and erased any records of who the real Ryang-ha Song is, and just took on this alias for themselves, and then it was just passed on because Mr. Donnie gives this new kid who was in the orphanage and was injured the same name, Ryang-ha Song. And of course, our adult one, that's not his original name. I think his real name was mentioned back in episode 3, but I forgot. I would have to go back and watch that episode, but his real name was mentioned. I think it was Sung-woo, I believe. Sung-woo, that's his actual name, and then he just took on Ryang-ha Song. So just like, my question is, and not only that, he's the one that sent Jinon to go after the adult Song. Okay, I know it sounds a lot confusing and everything, but try to follow where I'm getting at. He sent Jinon to go after the adult version, right? And my question is, seeing as how Jinon is a child, and he also has another child assassin, my thing is, does he gather orphan children who has no memories who they are? They have no background information. He raises these children, whether to, send them to school or try to look like the good guardian, and then raise them to be assassins. Because what he did with the child Ryang-ha is he brought him to like some bar to go eat and everything, and he's thanking Mr. Donnie for taking care of him, giving him his name, and asking him, what can I do for you? Of course, we did not hear what Mr. Donnie asked of him, what he is requesting of child Ryang-ha, but child Ryang-ha is like, yeah, I can definitely do it for you. So this guy is very shady. He takes up orphan children who has no background information. Probably their background information is completely wiped out of, data banks and everything. So they're basically an unidentifiable person. So my thing is, what does he want with the adult one? Does he want to take him out to replace him with this new one? Or do they have some type of past with each other? And he wants him back for some odd reason. So he's sending his children after him for whatever reason. There's a lot of mystery, but one thing I can say is it's tied in. Mr. Donnie knows our Ryang-ha. He knows the adult one, and he wants him for whatever reason. I don't think the anime is going to be able to cover it by the time it ends, because we only have 12 episodes. We have 5 more weeks to go, and that's it. But with Chateau now, there's a lot going on for her. Her boss got attacked. Her mother's life is on the line, and the people she's working with, their lives is also on the line as well. They're going to be threatened as well, and you know, her relation with Ryang-ha is not making anything better. So you really do feel it for these characters. There was some confusion in this episode, particularly with Chateau, and then just overall, Ryang-ha Song. Who is Ryang-ha Song? Why is this name so infamous, and why so many people have this name and it can't be traced back to the original person who had it, you know, who was identified as this person. So yeah, that's a lot to take in. Hopefully we'll get some answers in next week's episode, which is titled Confusion, because yeah, I was actually more confused in this episode and more than anything, but there are some things that were tied together. So if you guys saw this week's episode of Love of Kill episode 7, do tell me in the comment section below on how you felt about this week's episode. Are you able to tie in some stuff from episode 1 up until this episode? What were some things that you were able to understand, some things that you still are kind of confused on? I would love to hear your thoughts or read your thoughts on that. And I will see you guys later. The links are in the description box, so you guys go check that out. And I'm Kimmy-chan of Anime Legends, and again, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! With